I'll probably know more this afternoon when the vet sees him again, because he's seen him twice a day. So, and I'll have to give kudos to Dr. Hare. He done a great job the other night when this happened. He stayed, they started surgery on about 6:30 Thursday evening, and I was there until about 9 o'clock that night. So, you know, he did a great job trying to save him. So I don't know. After 5 days, he says that, you know, if they're not improving, it's not a good sign. So, and then also, I've got 3 employees that's leaving. Got a resignation turned in today, so I'll be hiring somebody here real quick, and then we're gonna be testing again January 10th, because we just didn't have a big list. We didn't have.
That's what I was gonna ask you, have you got anybody on the list?
I had 5 people on the list. I put out, last time I tested in July, we tested what, Jim, was about 6 people. 12 people applied, 6 came to take the test, 5 passed the test. 2 of them have already taken jobs other places. So we got about 3 left on the list considered. Angel's helping here, we put it out again for a testing date for applications, so I'm hoping that we'll have a bigger pool this time to test. So,
Are 3 applicants that are still on, are they PTI, or they?
the one that I'm considering for this first position, he's part-time, he'll have to go through the waiver process and go through a transition course, which is about 2 weeks to become full-time.
Okay, well, that's good.
You know, I'll try my best to find somebody that has experience, but
I know.
there's just doesn't seem to be a lot of people interested in being police officers these days. I talk to other sheriffs and other police departments, you know, locally, and they're kind of running into the same thing.
In the transition period with your people leaving and the applicants that are coming in, how's your staffing? I mean,
I want to be short. I mean, if I lose 3 here within this, you know, January, which I anticipate, or February, it's going to put me down to 5 patrol guys.
got a plan?
Hire more people. I guess I work.
I meant other than that. I mean, yeah, before the hiring, though, I mean, the transition.
I guess we'll just have to try to pull the slack.
Okay.
That's all I can do.
The people that you've got on the list now, I mean, since we've been posting all this, have you had any response whatsoever?
I've got 4 applications downstairs, and Angela said she's had about, what, 30
Yeah, 30.
30 apply, but a lot of folks aren't local, so, you know, that's one of the requirements. They have to move within the county within 30 days to have employment here, so.
Yeah, that was something we had.
You guys
Yeah.
visited that here not too long ago, so we modified that, so,
Which is good.
yeah.
On your canine, you have to replace, you might want to look at something besides Malamar, because that's one of their trades. We lost ours.
Yeah, well, you know, we did the research on that, and that's one of the reasons we picked that dog, because we felt that they weren't prone to do that as
Yeah,
much,
they
and
are.
also, and they didn't have the hip problems that the German Shepherds have, so
Right.
that's why we went with that dog, and that's what was recommended to us, and that's what we did, but, you know, it's one of those things you can't prevent. I mean, I know Eric, is very good as a dog handler, and, you know, one thing you don't do is you don't feed that dog to the end of its shift, so it doesn't have all that weight in the stomach, but they can run or work, and he was very diligent about that, but, it's something unfortunate, and I'm glad he caught it really quick, got him to the vet, but it, you know, it doesn't look like it's still gonna save his life. So,
Well, I hate to hear that.
I do too, because we worked very hard to get that dog, so very hard. And I don't think, even if we do replace him, we won't replace him, because he's just a very good tempered dog and good at what he did, and we haven't lost him yet. There's still some hope, but it just, every day seems to be worse for him, so, since the surgery.
Oh, also, Scott, you applied for a grant.
I did. I applied for a life scan grant. They're gonna award $467,000, I think, throughout the state. That'll be replacing our old live scan system. But one thing that this thing will do, will tie into this, the sexual registry for the state police, so we can talk directly to that. So it's essentially the same thing. Right now, the live scan machine is probably about 10 years old, and it needs to be replaced because it's way outdated. But it's just a system that it's inkless, that you scan the fingerprints in, it goes to B of I in Springfield, And so this will have the ability to do that and also to do it with a sexual registration database. So we're hopeful that we'll get that. Terry George was great to work with. She helped write the grant, so that deadline is today, and she's already filed it. She filed it, I think Tuesday. So we're hopeful that we'll get that. That'll mean about, I got quotes for it, and I think after we get approved for it, we'll just probably do an RFP.
We put in for a certain amount or just a
We put
percentage
in
of?
for 20,000.
Okay.
We got 3 quotes. One was 15,000, one was 20, and one was 30. So, but I've talked to Tyler about that. If we get the award, then I'll just put it out for an RFP. and
Okay.
Take a look at this company that did the 20 is willing to come down and demonstrate it to us. So something that we might, look at in the future is become a vendor for that. So for people like that come in for concealed carry or any kind of licensure through the state that have fingerprints, I'd like to look into that. We can charge a fee for that and kind of provide a service to the
Because
community.
see, people have asked me in the, for the concealed carry class, if they could come to you, and I tell them no. And they say, well, they've got it, I'm a taxpayer. They don't understand that you have to be a vendor
Yes,
to do that.
and I'll have to research that to find out how to become a vendor for that, but that's something that we could look into for the future.
And I will say on that, the fee, since concealed carry started, the fee that people do the live scan, the fees went up tremendously.
What is it, about $40?
No, I think it's about $60
Oh,
now.
is it?
Yeah, it started out as 40. Matter of fact, I'll tell you, when a guy went in, the fee was $40, and by the time that he got to the live scan, they charged him $60
Yeah.
because of the supply and demand. Now, it might have went down before then.
But we still have a lot of people coming in too for like professional license that they have to have.
Did any of you guys have the live scan when you went through? Did you, Dennis, do the live scan? You did? How much was it?
I think it was 40, but I had to go to Williamson County up to the range up there to get
Okay.
fingerprints done.
Well, we'd have to be competitive to,
Sure.
that, but it would be worth doing.
Yeah. That's all I have.
Okay. Angela?
By January 15th, I believe, we're going to have to update the sexual harassment policy, the ordinance that you have, so that will have to be done. I forwarded it to Tyler, and he's working on a couple things, so we'll have to get that on the agenda. It's a requirement that has to be out by the 15th. So
If we adopt that, then does everybody have to,
we'll have to
So-
retrain,
okay,
yes.
that's a good thing in this day and age.
Raleigh? You have time? Gary? Is there any other business?
Bob, do you want an update on the audit,
Yeah.
Yes.
this audit situation?
Yes.
Last time, at the board meeting, we were talking about, we had sent a certified letter, so we sent that. I got the tracking information, and actually got the signed receipt, that someone signed for it. I got online and tracked it. It looks like it was delivered to them on December 11th. So that's been, over a week ago, 10 days ago. I have not heard anything. No response whatsoever. I still try to call. Yesterday, I actually got someone in the office to answer, and I asked for Kim, and she said, ask who was calling, and she said, please hold. And then she came back on the line and said, she's in a meeting, she'll have to call you back. And that was it.
Now, with that too, somebody came in that wanted to start on the next audit, and you said, I need to talk to Kim.
Yes, the guy that normally comes in, or at least came in last year and did the audit for the county, not for the circuit clerk's office, for the county, he emailed me and just said, he wanted to show up this past Monday. He emailed me end of last week and said, can I come in on Monday and start the audit for the county? And I didn't feel it was appropriate to go into details with him, so
Very
I
good.
simply responded back and said, please have Kim call me. And I haven't heard back from him via email, phone, nothing. So I talked to Tyler about it, and I asked Tyler, I said, I'm not sure how we proceed with this. Do you send a second letter, say, second request demanding her to get a hold of us again? Do you send a letter saying you're terminating the services? At this point, I have no idea if she has the intention of coming and completing our audits, or if she has no intention of coming and completing our audits. So, he said we can handle it any way the board wants to. So, sometime you guys will have to decide how you want to proceed. If you want to send her another letter and basically tell her, you have to respond, or you have to come in, or this is gonna happen, or if you wanna go ahead and do it now, you can cancel.
Well, my knee-jerk reaction is the first option, so that we have all of our ducks in a row, that we are making all efforts from our side to make communications with this, to give us more validity, that if we do, I mean, I think that we have enough now, if we want to cancel the contract.
I think,
But here's why I say that, Max, because if she just drops everything, and says, okay, you're canceling, I'm done, and we have all this stuff pending that we're gonna have to pay some penalties on, that she's saying that she can take care of, I think we need to put the ball in her court to do that before we just cancel and then say, okay, well then, I'm done. And then we're left holding the bag again.
no, that's true, that's true.
That's why I'm saying, put the ball in her court.
Tyler would have to answer that question, but I have withheld payment for the work that she's done that would
Oh, absolutely.
would far exceed what our penalties would be.
There you go, that's, okay.
So if he says, obviously Tyler will have to tell us, if he says that we can wait to pay her until we figure out what penalties we're gonna get and deduct them, then that would be a route.
Oh,
I
and-
can't answer that. though.
And that was a very good thing to do, if we can do that, because that's my concern, that if we just sever ties now, that we're left with everything that she said she's gonna fix. And I don't wanna be left with that.
The whole situation is bad, but the bad thing is you got the circuit clerk's audit. Well, we're looking for fiscal year 17 for the county. That's all we need, the one that just ended. But, the circuit clerk's office needs 15 and 16. So if we can't get Kim to come in and finish, which from what I understand, she's already started. I think she was waiting for one last thing to do, and
Was it wrong protocol? I understand we're sending a certified letter and all this for somebody to go knock on the office door.
she's in Marion.
I know.
I don't know why you couldn't. I
As
don't
a
know if it would be.
representative from the county or what, well, I know, but
It's a
That's
bad,
that's
it's
an
a bad
option
deal.
too. Yeah. Obviously.
But I think,
wish she
I
just
think
don't
I can
finish
speak
it.
for the, I think that we're all in agreement that we need to start looking
well, yeah.
for
that's-
someone else. I mean, because, and like I say, it is so, when we first did this, I thought it was, she did a great job. And then all of a sudden,
I don't
I don't know.
understand that. But I do know she's had a falling out with Williamson County big time also. I mean,
But I'm glad that you did withhold payment, because that gives us a little leverage for her, to at least complete the circuit clerk's audit, so that we can,
Well, that's kind of what you guys have to decide. At this point, are you willing, if she is willing, and I don't know unless I get a hold of her, if she's willing to come back in and complete those audits, are you okay with her completing the audits? You're under contract with her for this year. Now, obviously, I believe, I'm not a lawyer, but I believe that she's violated the contract, so that would be completely up to you. But soon, I'm gonna have to know how you wanna proceed as far as, are we putting it out there for bid? If you are, then you need to break your contract with her.
Well,
Because
and-
she's under contract.
the only thing there, if we break her contract, then we're left holding the bag for the 15-16 circuit clerk's audit.
Yes, you'll have to bid somebody to do that work.
And then whatever work she's compiled, unless they have a good working relationship that the new vendor can obtain that, which I don't think they will if they're doing their own audit,
They won't.
then that just puts us even farther behind. So that's why I said, and of course the board can speak up as individuals what they see, but that's why I want to put the ball in her court to see if she will respond to the 15-16 circuit clerk audit. Then, after that, then we look at severing ties. Because if we sever right now, there's a whole lot on our plate.
But do we have time to wait for 2017? That's a genuine question. I don't know what the timeline is, what the requirements are for.
I don't know. I would assume that we could on the 17th.
We can afford to wait.
Yeah, well, but,
If they're wanting to start now, that was my concern, is that if we have to have somebody starting immediately, then our hands are tied, we have to make a decision about whether or not to do it.
Obviously, she's not gonna finish it, or she's done.
yeah.
But for some reason, she's ready and willing to come in and do the county's part of the audit, even for 17, which is right on time, and we could actually get an audit on time and get it done. But getting somebody in here to finish the circuit clerk's audit is not going well.
No. And to my knowledge, like you said, she has all the information. All she has to do is compile it and turn the report in. Unless I'm missing something.
I'm in the same boat as you, unless I'm missing something.
Well, then, I mean,
We
of
can
course,
send a second notice.
everybody can speak up, but my knee-jerk reaction is to send a second certified letter stating, you need to call us, we need to talk to you, so at least we're making the effort so that if something does happen, we have documentation that we have tried to contact these people.
Well, the first letter that was sent stated, that we have been trying to contact, that can't leave a message on her voicemail because her voicemail is full, and telling her that she needed to contact us immediately. Like I said, she's had that for 10 days, nothing. The second letter we could draft, just kind of need to decide what you want in it. Do you want second request stamped on the same letter and the same letter go
Absolutely.
out? Or do you want the second letter to say, if you don't respond by such and such date, we are canceling your contract? That's what we need to
Tyler had
decide.
mentioned that at the last meeting as well, and I would kind of be inclined to do that since we're under the gun for time.
Me too.
Yeah, at least that way she'll either respond or she's,
Or what Max said.
She's done.
Go
yeah,
knock on
or
the
she's
door.
done. The only, and the big concern, if that happens, then, yeah, then as far as any penalties, by withholding her payment, we have money for that. But my concern is then the penalties that we're gonna accrue over the 15-16 circuit clerk audit. Because we'll have to get somebody and start all over again. But I think, that's why I'm saying that we need to have all that documentation in, so that if there is something or any penalties or anything that happens, we have documentation to say, this is why it's late. So the burden, I mean, even though we're gonna have to be responsible, at least we have some sort of recourse to say, here's why. It's not just us dragging our feet. We're trying.
Right.
I mean, are you guys in agreement to that? I'm just trying to protect us.
That's why we're hoping Tyler would be here to explain our options, because it is kind of cloudy, but
And I would, before we do anything, of course, we are, I run it by our legal counsel, but, for me, I think that's our options at this point. And I think we're all in agreement that no matter what happens, that we are gonna start looking. Because we can't, this is bad. Okay?
And if you'd like me to go to Marion and go in her office, I don't have a problem doing that. So I may go in there and they may tell me she's unavailable.
Yeah, she's gonna be.
And they not let me talk to her. But at least I guess we can document that.
I'll do whatever I need to do too.
And that's what I'm saying though, Angie, anything that we can document that we have made an effort, and anything we do document, so that we're not left holding bad on 15-16, that's my concern.
Okay.
But I'm glad you brought that up.
I will mention the fact too that Raleigh has turned in his resignation, and which is effective January 15th.
15th is when I start the new job.
Are there any public comments?
I have one, Bobby. There've been a couple of FOIA requests. And first of all, this is not about any person's performance or any personality, this is about process. There've been a couple of FOIA requests which, after people have received them the second time, it shows that a $2,500, 4.3 salary increase has been granted. And like Danny was saying, nothing exists unless it's on paper in government, how it occurred. I guess the question from union members is, based on the extreme 4.35% increase up to $60,000, what was the process? Was it county, or maybe we should address the county manager, if she could tell us the process that was done? Was that voted on? Was that a memo? And we did not get that answer through the FOIA request, but we did get the verification that it did go up to 60,000. And again, this is not about people, or it's about the process. Would anybody want to address that for the record?
Yeah, I will. That was the agreement at the offering of employment. At the offering of employment, that it would be for X amount of money, and then after a 6-month review, then the pay would go up to a certain amount. That if we thought that the position was still needed, and this was the person for the position, then that was at the time of offering of employment.
Is that in writing somewhere, Danny? Because we've not been able to see those memos.
And probably not.
And, okay.
But I do know that when we sat here and interviewed all the candidates and when, at the time of offering, that was the offering of employment.
If I could add something regarding the FOIA, the memos, we've never gotten any requests specifically for memos. We did a few days ago, and the state's attorney and I met about it, and he is in agreement at this point that they are public record, and so we're going to be putting them all online, but we have responded to one FOIA with a couple of memos that were
But it
specifically
doesn't tell
requested.
about the raise. It doesn't.
No, there is no
There's nothing
memo
in there
about,
about the raise.
no.
Right. So, I guess that's my statement. Union employees have noted that it is a 4.35% increase after 6 months employment. But if it was in the original agreement, that's probably why it seems outrageous when you look at it.
Yeah, it is, and that was at the offering of employment.
Well, that was verbal, I guess.
Yeah, yes.
Which,
Yeah.
you understand the frustration when some things have to be in writing and other things don't.
Well, and again, it's the same way as an at-will employee or a union employee. That, for union contracts, they're written, and we should, and you are right in this count, we should document everything, and we should have documented that, but I do know that that was at the offering of employment, that was, because at that time, at the 6-month time, we could have terminated or done away with the position, but since the position was kept, so therefore, through the obligation that we made at the offer of employment, we put it in, which was already in the 2018 budget for that amount, for that position, if we kept that position. That was what was in the budget. Because the 2017 budget had the first amount, the 18 had second amount if we kept that position. If we did away with the position, then the money would have still been there, just not the position. Not that person, but the money would have still been there.
My other comment was, Tyler is in court. That's why he had to leave. He's in court.
Yeah, you said that.
Any other comments? No? Motion to adjourn.
Make a motion with adjourn.
Second.
Commissioner Fell,
Yes.
Commissioner Miller,
Yes.
Commissioner Foster. Yes. Commissioner Miller. Yes. Commissioner Harvey.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Actually, we need one right here. Or we can close the closed session.